Hi, this is A. Western. That ain't even tell us like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribe. Top I'm going to talk to you today about is Housewives Tea. In this Housewives Tea video, I'll be talking about Angel Massey promotional run before the taping of the reunion. I also will be talking about Candy saying that Todd that she's paying all the bills and Todd don't spend enough time with the kids like you said. And then I'm gonna say what she said on the Today Show. And that'll be the update part. And then I also will be talking about Kelly Farrell's ex-husband being released and getting out of jail. And I also will be talking about what Mia's response to Sharice and Ashley about the dating situation with Sharice's son and Ashley. I also will be talking about what everybody's been talking about for the last 2 weeks. Nene Leaks returns to Bravo. That was the most talked about thing, and they're still talking about it now. And then Portia's little promotional run on Watch What Happens Live to talk about Ultimate Girls Trip, and also some filming episodes of Ultimate Girls Trip. Like I said, Kelly Ferrero's husband got out of jail and was released from jail. And I'm going to read right here. Um, it says reality entertainment TV. It says let me see if I can bring it up a little bit more. It says Kelly Farrell's ex-husband was released from jail after 17 days for unpaid. Was released on Thursday, January the 8th, after 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 selling his former home, which cleared debt, marked reputation, stated that that the resolve soon that it would be resolved soon if he had timely access to the process. Mark believed his child support and his current income has faced past jail terms, and he claims he supported his children even when formal payments were not continued to pay Kale's $3,998 monthly. And I was saying, well, you out here disgracing Kelly and putting her name in the mud and stuff when you should be working and stuff. Cause he trying to first last year he was trying to claim that he owned those businesses and the business was in his name and he the one started the business for Kelly. And come to find out he was the partner in the business with Kelly, but Kelly was making her own money with that business and stuff. So I'm glad Kelly is getting some kind of due from this man because this man reminds me of a smaller version of Ralph with Drew and stuff like that. Because Kelly had said on the show last year that she was going through stuff with that man, but I think I was kind of like some fans. I was kind of believing in it, kind of not believing it. But now I believe she did everything that she said that man put her through. He did exactly what she said. Now, the next story I want to talk about was Candy. Candy accuses Todd uh, of not paying child support or spending enough time with the children. And I was saying, Candy, just like you try to say, Todd tried to cheat on you and stuff like that with other girls and stuff like that. Everybody knows that you and Todd had an open marriage. You would always talk about your sex life on and off Real Housewives of Atlanta. So that didn't fly. Now now that she think the judge might rule in Todd's favor, as far as her not spending enough time and her got a lot of jobs and busy working. So she trying to counter that. That fell flat too. And then fast forward to what last week she was on the Today Show promoting her play that she's on, and they asked her about the situation, and she said what it is. All she gonna say about it, I'm paraphrasing. She said all she gonna say about it is her and Todd trying to be the best co-parents that they can. But she wanted to talk about the play, and she was saying right after the play, she got to go and do a movie or make something. I saw a little bitty clip of it on another YouTuber's channel, and then I went and found it on YouTube my own self. And Candy knows she don't have no thing because she gotta do after the Broadway play. She gotta, they say, make a movie or something else. And she talking about she got her a new producing partner and stuff. So you still not gonna be able to spend time with the kids like you want to. Todd is still gonna have to be doing the daddy daycare. Is it just the fact that you was trying to put out stuff to get people to maybe turn against Todd or whatever against Todd? But people already know the writing on the wall. Candy don't want to pay that money either. Candy gonna stay in that relationship and wind up saying her and Todd made up so she wanted to pay all that alimony money and stuff, or either she gonna have to drop the divorce. It's one of the two because there's no way she gonna be able to do all the stuff that she talking about she gonna do without having Todd or a babysitter or somebody around. So let me talk to the next story. Oh, the next story is Angel Massey. Angel Massey had been doing her she had been doing her promotional run before the reunion tape, and I did catch a little glimpse of some of these other things, but I wrote down some notes of what she did for What Happens Live, and I'm gonna read to you the notes that I wrote down from Watch What Happens Live. Let me pause this video while I get my notes together. Okay, I'm back. Andy asked, Angel. He said, Angel, why didn't you get another rental, for the ladies and get them another rental place for the ladies? And Angel said that she did. She said she tried to find another place, another place for the ladies, and she said the realtor that she used had found another place for the ladies and stuff and stuff like that. And she was saying when she found out about what was going on, she 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 uh, she she, uh, she said she had sent someone over there the day before to check out the place they were in. And everything was working, but she was saying the girls told her, and when she found out about it, she tried her best to get them another place to stay and stuff like that. And then Andy asked a question about why did they have separate things, and she was saying what it was. Uh, when she said what it was, she wanted to she wanted the girls to have a good time and stuff like that, and what it was, it wasn't enough room at her house, it wasn't enough room at her house, and stuff like this. So she could only bring a few girls, wasn't enough room for everybody at her house. But then on another interview I saw with her on YouTube, I don't know if it was page 6 or whatever, she finally came out and said that she didn't want them there, and her husband didn't want them ladies there too. And so I was saying, well, Angel, you should have told it. You should have the same thing you said on this interview. You should have said on What Happens Live. But your husband was right there, and he could have said what he wanted to say, and the asked some questions anyway. And then I'm kind of glad she cleared up that part. And then and then uh and then she cleared up that part. And then he asked Bobby how what he think about the girls and stuff, and he was saying, well, from the way they treated his wife and stuff, he said, yeah, he really didn't want that. He said all those girls want to be what Angel has already got. And he said he's very supportive of his wife. And then Andy asked him, do you like what you call on the show? Do you like Angel on the show and stuff? He said, I'm just here to support my wife. Whatever Angel want, I want. I was so glad he said that to end his face and stuff like that. And so, and so I didn't like the way Giselle was so mean to Angel, to Angel, after the stuff. I saw little clips of the stuff, and I saw what Tia and Tia tried to take up for her and say, well, when she thought about, she was all frantic and she was crying and she wanted, but Giselle didn't care. Giselle didn't care, and they just wanted to have something to rag on her about. And the only thing that I didn't like was that when the girls were, like I said in the previous videos, when the girls were not at Stacy, Stacy was kissing all up to Ashley and Giselle, but then when they was on her back, she wanted people to be on her side. So that's why I say I like Stacy, but Stacy is also a flip flopper, and that's what kind of is getting to me with Stacy because I mean last year I was mad at Stacy because she was trying to play the the dumb brunette type girl, but she didn't know nothing and people ask her stuff. But now she's more bold, but she's still a flip flopper. And I didn't like the way they did Angel. And I don't blame Angel's husband, Bobby for saying that, and I don't blame Angel for saying that Giselle and Wendy Giselle and Wendy and Ashley are mean girls and stuff like that. So on another note, on another note, it was a couple of on another note, they was talking about the ultimate girls trip, and then somebody said, TMZ said, Nene is confirmed and has signed. Next thing you know, when I got on my Twitter later on that day or that night, Nene had came out with some kind of Instagram video, and she said, I just want to come in and say a little something to y'all. She said, I'm grateful, I'm hopeful, and stuff like that, and words can't describe how I feel. But I'm back on Bravo. I'm back on Bravo. Everybody was saying yeah, and she was saying she's gonna be on Bravo with the Ultimate Girls Trip, and she's not gonna be a main cast or a full-time member, but she'll be on there. And so it was like the next day they asked Andy. Andy was talking about yeah, she's gonna have a part. She's gonna have a part and stuff like that. And everybody was so happy that Nene was coming back. The majority of the fans and stuff because it had already been confirmed earlier in this month that Vicky Galveston and also she's from OC and also Kyle was confirmed. And they were saying Giselle might be and they were saying Ashley might be. But then they switched it from Ashley to Monique. And so they said it's going to be Giselle. And then after Nene put out her thing, then that's when everybody else started putting out. And then they put out the main cast. And the main cast, they put Portia first. And because Nene had said was going to thank some woman named Frances Burke or something, and then she thanked Andy, and he said, "Well, I got to thank some of the housewives." She said, I got to thank Portia. Portia, you know I love you. You my little sister in my heart." And then she said, Phaedra said, "Phaedra, thank you for taking up for me behind the scenes. You and Portia and stuff like that." She took a lot of executives from Shea Media, Truly Original, and others to get everything together and get everything together themselves. And she also thanks some guy named Darren Woods and stuff, and everybody was happy. And then Vicky Galveston was the first one said, who said we couldn't come back home? And then Teresa Judice was saying that she was happy and glad. And mostly everybody was glad. And then over the weekend, here come Bethnney Frankel with this little side shade talking about she don't understand regurgitating everything the fans say. She don't understand how somebody could sue a company and the company accept them back in. Well, oh well, congratulations, Nene. And then she said, that's never been heard of. I said, Bethany Frankel, you just mad and jealous because Bravo accepted Nene back and didn't accept you back. And you also tried to start you a private union 2 years ago to go against Bravo, but that didn't work. And she was just mad. And baby, she got off the internet because people tore her tail up. She had so much backlash. And I was saying, it's a shame that Nene tried to be friends with her. That one really wasn't Nene's friend, and Nene wasn't like that. And she gonna try to say, well, she wanted to have something like that, and she brought it to the network when it was just gonna be her and Nene, and she gonna show Nene out around. And she said back then they talking about Nene was like kryptonite and they didn't want to touch her stuff. And I was saying, Bethany, you need to shut up and sit down. And then it was like right after that, some people were saying Portia wasn't an OG because they found out she was gonna be the number one in the main cast, and Portia is the youngest one because all them other women are in their 50s, in their early to mid 50s. And so I was saying, well, I was saying, well, some people wouldn't say Portia was an OG. I say, but if you look at it from this point of view, well, Portia came on, like they say, season 5. So I'm looking at season 5 through 10. If she been there 10 or the 20 years with this, well, to me, she might be a new OG. But anyway, a lot of people are looking at it like that. And so she was on Watch What Happens Live, and he said he was going to introduce the main cast, and then it was Portia, and he introduced Portia as number one, and then we had Portia to play a game, but Portia kind of introduced the whole cast and stuff like that, and then they started putting up the pictures and stuff like that. And then before that, she was talking about how Candace she knew Candace was a traitor, and Candace got off a traitor. And I say, well, Portia, you should have been glad to get off a traitor the first one if you were gonna be on Ultimate Girl Trip. Cause Portia already knew she was gonna be on Ultimate Girl Trip, so it was like she said a little something, but then she kind of slowed it down and stuff like that. So I was just so happy for Nene being back on Ultimate Girl Trip. And they showed some pictures of them arriving in OC the other day, and then they showed some pictures last night of Kyle throwing some kind of white party. That's all I have for this Housewives Tea video. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. I am out.